Hi Pisces, welcome to May. This is Teresa from Tarot by T, and we're in eclipse season. This month we have a new moon eclipse in Taurus that actually happens on April 30th, the last day of April, but the energy will carry through May and for the next 6 months. And then we have a full moon in Scorpio on the 15th or the 16th, depending on where you live. Mercury goes retrograde from Gemini back into Taurus, then back into Gemini this month, and then at the end of the month we have a new moon in Gemini on May 30th. And in addition, all the planets that were hanging out in your sign, Pisces, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, they're going to be moving over into Aries, so that will affect your money houses. Anyway, let's see what do the cards say. We'll get into the astrology later. What do the cards say about love and relationships for Pisces for the month of May 2022? What is happening with Pisces? What does Pisces need to know about May 2022 in terms of love and relationships? And this is Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Possibly Venus. Okay, let's see what we get. The Eight of Swords, the Devil, the Death card in the past, the Nine of Pentacles, the Moon, the Seven of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, the Star, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Hangman. And the card at the bottom of the deck is the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so this month you may feel, well, with the Eight of Swords, you feel like you're stuck in a situation. You may feel trapped, and you may feel like you can't, there's something that you want to be free of, you want to move out of, but you feel like you can't for whatever reason. You're afraid to take it. It's really fear that's holding you back. In some cases, it could be circumstances, lack of money, opportunity. But for the most part, a big part of it is fear. Because if you look at this card, there are no swords in front of her. So she is free to move. It's just that she's blindfolded. Because you can't see the future, it's like you're thinking, the devil I know is better than the one I don't know. You're afraid to move out of this current situation. And especially because you have the devil card here. So that's a card, you could be in a relationship where there's either strong chemistry or a strong passion. It could be even like you're addicted to the person, or you could be dealing with someone that has an addiction, a drinking or drug problem. The devil can play out in many different ways. Most of the time it represents fear and being stuck in this fear mode. So if you're in a relationship, and sometimes if the devil comes up in a love relationship reading, it could mean there are certain toxic elements in that relationship, and you're finding it hard to break free from that. Mostly because you're afraid of what the future will be, because you can't see the outcome. And it's like you get stuck, or you're addicted to your situation. You get so stuck and so used to the situation that you're almost like, it's like you've given your power over to this relationship. And this, I feel like this is a special message for everyone. Not for everyone, but for some, just for some Pisces. Because Pisces has a tendency, Pisces is very compassionate and very sacrificing. You see the good in someone, even if someone has qualities that people are saying there's a lot of red flags in this situation. You see the divine in everyone, and so you might be like overlooking or idealizing someone and not really seeing the truth about a relationship, especially because you have the moon here. So you're like, you keep telling yourself, well, but I know this person has a good heart, even though, yeah, there are times when they're difficult or they're, They're not doing, treating me in the best way. And, you feel like your love is going to help this person or change this person. And so sometimes you have to really look beyond that and realize when you're sacrificing too much of yourself, because I'm seeing those signs in this reading. You have the death card here in the past. The death card, though, is a positive thing. It means that you're coming to the end of a cycle. You're learning. You might have been working on yourself and trying to become more independent. You realize that something is really coming to an end, but you're afraid to move out of it. The death could have been the end of a relationship, the end of a situation, where you finally are learning how to put the past behind you and realize, okay, that part of my life has ended. Some of you might have already ended a relationship. Some of you might still be in a relationship that you're trying to break free from. But you're learning that you have to kiss the past goodbye and make room for the new. So if nothing is changing in your life, it's because you're still holding on to some past relationship or past goal or dream. And you're not making you have to clear out the old before you can make room for the new. Especially because you have the Six of Pentacles card here. This is a card of someone who gives. And Pisces is the ultimate giver. You're always there for everyone. If someone is hurting or someone needs your help, you're there. You're running out the door to help them. And you don't always think of your needs. You put other people's needs, especially in a relationship. You sometimes put your partner's needs ahead of your own. And with the Six of Pentacles, this could represent a relationship where one person is doing all the giving. There's an imbalance in the relationship. Maybe you're paying all the bills, or you're the one working. You're always the one reaching out. You're always the one doing the work to keep the relationship together. And that can get tiring. That can drain your energy sometimes. But I feel like you're going to start waking up to that. You have the Nine of Pentacles in the recent past. So that's good in a way, because it gives you material success. Like you're working on being self-sufficient. In a career situation, it can mean that you're maybe working remotely or working from home or working as an independent contractor where you don't have to, you're in charge of your environment. You're in charge of your situation. For some of you who are in a financial situation that's comfortable, like maybe you're staying in a relationship because it makes financial sense. You need the other person's income to survive. Or you could be living on your own. If you've broken a relationship, you could be living on your own and feeling comfortable financially, but you're also feeling lonely. And you're feeling, well, what good is having all these material things? What good is having a nice house and money in the bank if I have no one to share it with? So I feel like there's two storylines happening here. One, where you've ended a relationship that might have been toxic, or even if it wasn't toxic, it just ended, and you're dealing with, and you're afraid to move on because you're holding on to the past. But you're starting to feel lonely. The other situation is you're in something that's hard to break free from. Like you try to break free and it keeps drawing you back in because there's strong feelings, strong emotions connected with this person. Almost like an addiction. You can be addicted to drugs and alcohol, but you could also be addicted to people or addicted to love in a sense. Like, I need this person. I feel like I can't live without them or something like that. And, even though you can break free, because Pisces, of all the signs, Pisces has the most problems with boundaries, setting boundaries. Because you're such a caring and compassionate person, you sometimes let people take advantage of your kindness. You don't know how to say no. You don't know how to draw the line. Because you feel it's your duty to serve and to be there for someone. And you're just so kind and compassionate. You have all this divine energy, this beautiful divine energy. But you have to learn when enough is enough, when when it's time to say no and to start giving to you and to start, because if you don't recharge yourself and you don't start giving to yourself, you're going to burn out and you won't have anything left to give anyone else. So coming up in the future, you have this Moon card and the Seven of Pentacles. The Moon is another card of illusion. Things are hidden. You're not sure. I think you're going through a confusing time where you're not sure what's real in a relationship. The Moon, you could be thinking, can I trust my partner? Are they who they say they are? Or are they deceiving me? Can I believe what this person's telling me? Maybe someone's making excuses for their behavior, and you're thinking, I don't know, does that sound right? So you could be kind of questioning a lot right now in our partnership and wondering if you should break free, but at the same time you feel trapped. Like, I don't really know if I have any options. I'm stuck here. You have the Seven of Pentacles in the near future, which is about planting new seeds. So I think regardless of what's happening, you need to start planting seeds on what you want to have in a relationship. So if you're trying to break free, plant the seeds, do it one step at a time. What you need to do to try and get you to that place where you can break free. Or if you're not in a relationship, start working on releasing the past and plant seeds on meeting new people and socializing, connecting with others. You have the Seven of Pentacles, which is kind of like you're wondering, how's this all going to work out? There's a lot of confusion, I feel, around relationships, and you're wondering, does this relationship even have a future? What's going to happen in the future? And there's so much that you're blind to. You have this Two of Swords and the Eight of Swords. See, the two people are blindfolded. So there are things you're just not seeing, and you have to it's like you're navigating through the fog or through the dark, in the dark. With the Two of Swords, you're on the fence about making a decision. You have to make a decision about a relationship. If you've broken up with someone, the decision could be, do I reach out or not? You might be waiting for them to reach out to you. You don't want to make the first move. So both people are kind of waiting for the other person to take action. And mostly it's because you're afraid of, you can't see the future. It's like you want a guarantee. You're like, well, if I choose this person, I want a guarantee that everything's going to be fine, that we're going to be a good match. And sometimes you just can't have that. You have to take the risk. But the other message of this card is dropping your guard and being vulnerable. You may, to work through the confusion, you may need to sit down with this person and lay your cards on the table and say, look, this is what I need in a relationship. This is how I feel. And get them to give you straight answers. What do you think? What do you feel? And that way you'll know from the horse's mouth. Don't let your imagination fill in the blanks. And that's the danger of the Moon card. A lot of times if we don't know certain things, we start, working things out in our head. Well, maybe he or she did this because of that. Or he said that, she said this. Maybe he meant this or she meant that. And you don't know for sure. That's just your mind interpreting things. But it could be a misinterpretation. So the best way to get clarity is to speak directly to that person and let them tell you straight from their mouth how they feel, what they want, where is this relationship going, how do you, what do I mean to you, what do you want to happen between us, whatever those questions are, you need to ask them. And that will help you get out of this, get some clarity and get out of the confusion and help you make a decision, because at some point you have to get off this fence and choose. Now you have the Star. The Star is a great card. It's in your environment. It means that there's hope. So even though things might seem stagnant right now, you may feel like everything's in limbo. You don't know where anything is going, what's going to happen in the future. In a month, this is a time card for 1 month. Something is going to happen that's going to give you hope. So maybe you have that conversation and then it changes the dynamic. Or something happens that helps you get out of this confusion, to get out of this feeling of being trapped. Something that's positive. The Star is like a wish fulfillment or a dream or a goal that you can achieve, but it may take some time to get there. It's not going to be an overnight thing. So it's not like, oh, tomorrow I meet my soulmate and all my problems are solved. It's more like I'm working toward this goal, and over time we can achieve the Star. You have the Queen of Pentacles in your wish fulfillment. So it's telling me that you're very talented. You have a lot of talent, but you're looking for security in a relationship. You're looking for someone who's stable, some love that is loyal and stable, because that's the energy of the Earth, of the Pentacle. The Earth signs, you could even be dealing with an Earth sign. So that could be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But you're wanting something in a relationship where you're wanting to feel valued. A lot of times the Queen of Pentacles, this could be your energy too, that you're acting like the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is very talented, And but sometimes she doesn't value herself, or she doesn't realize how her talents are valuable, or her contribution is valuable. So you have to start honoring your own value and not settling for less. And if someone is not treating you properly or giving you what you deserve in a relationship, you may want to think about, should I stay in this situation, or do I need to move on? But the positive thing is the Queen is looking to the future. So you are looking to the future. Keep your eye on the future goals and work towards them, even if it's little by little, planting little seeds every day. You have the Hangman. The Hangman is about making a sacrifice, giving something up for something better. So I think at some point in the future, you're going to wind up freeing yourself from this trapped situation, freeing yourself from the energy of the devil, where you feel like you're limited, or you're trapped, or you're stuck. You're going to become unstuck. But the Hangman is also about learning the art of patience, because things are not going to happen quickly. So you have to give it time. So don't get discouraged if things are not happening according to your time frame. If you feel like things are too slow, especially in May with Mercury retrograde, things may slow down. We're going to want to move ahead because all this energy moving into Aries, but with the Mercury retrograde, it's telling us to reconsider and rethink our plan and tweak our strategy. Now, the Hangman also means that you are going to move. You may have to make a sacrifice. When you give something up, like you might wind up meeting someone down the road that really changes things for you, is a good option. But to claim that option, you have to give up something that you're not totally unhappy with. Like there might be a relationship that has its toxic moments, but it's not totally a no-brainer, like, you're being abused and all that. But the new option is going to bring you to a better place. And if it's not a relationship, it could even be a job situation where you feel like, well, I'm not totally miserable at my job. It could be better. But this new opportunity is going to be much more fulfilling. So the Hangman is also about seeing things from a different perspective, breaking the pattern of how you're looking at things and how you're evaluating things. But I feel like there's hope for the future. But a lot of it is going to have to do with you overcoming fears and learning to release yourself from the past and clearing out the past so that you can make room for all this new energy to come in. So let's see what the Oracle has to say, the Fairy Oracle. What message does Pisces need to know for May from the fairies? And if you're not talking to someone, you might want to break the ice and reach out, because it could be that there's pride or going on both sides. Neither party wants to be the first one to reach out. So if you want closure, if you want clarity, reach out. Okay, let's see. Dreams coming true. Okay. So this is a card of hope. Let me see. Your heart's desires are manifesting into reality. The fairies ask you to hold fast to your faith and expect positive outcomes. Good news. The life you've been dreaming of is becoming a reality for you. Your affirmations, prayers, visualizations, and other positive practices have brought your dreams to fruition. Now the fairies ask you to keep the faith. At this moment, you may be seeing glimmers of your dreams coming true. These dreams are transitioning from thought form to etheric form, and then they're solidifying into material form. To make this transition successful and complete, your continued faith and prayers are needed. Ask God and the fairies to help release you of any fears that could cause you to sabotage your success. Know that you deserve this new abundance and that it will bring much joy to you and those in your life. So your affirmation and your mantra for this month is, my heart is filled with gratitude and excitement, knowing that wonderful people and situations surround me now. So I feel, especially with this star and the Hangman, things are going to improve, but you have to have patience. And don't give up on the dream, but also conquer your fears, and don't be afraid to reach out to gain clarity. So let's see what the astrology says for for Pisces. So you have a new moon. The new moon eclipse in Taurus is happening in your third house, and it's conjunct Uranus. So the third house is like unexpected. It's the house of communication. So unexpected messages, developments. You have Mars in your first house. You have a lot of planets in your first house at the beginning of May, but they're going to be transitioning. So before they transition, take advantage of this positive energy. Because you have Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Neptune, all in your first house. And the third house is the house of communication. It's also the house of siblings. So brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, immediate family, local friends, your local environment. There could be some surprising developments, surprising messages coming from that sector. So if you've had a falling out with a relative, you may hear a surprising message or some surprising development may happen. Mars is sextile the new moon. So the sextile aspect means you have to take action to benefit from this new beginning. So I feel like you're the one who's going to have to reach out. I don't think the other person is, but you have to present the olive branch, let's say. You have to take action, and you're going to feel energetic. Now, Mars is in your sign. Mars has already been in your sign from April, so you're feeling more energetic. Venus has been in your sign, so it should be making you feel more loving and more charming and reaching out to people. Jupiter is in your first house. It's been in your first house for the past couple of months. It's bringing luck and abundance. It also may cause you to gain weight because your first house is your body. So watch what you're eating, especially with Venus there. You may be overindulging in food and drink and putting on some pounds. But Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune are all sextile Pluto in your 11th house. This is changing your friendships and the groups that you belong to. You may feel that the kind of people you want to hang out with is changing. You're transforming. Your friends, you might have even joined a group that's changing you in some way on a big level. Or you're dealing with people in power, because Pluto represents power. You have Mercury at 0 degrees Gemini. Mercury has moved into your 4th house, and it's trining Pluto in the 11th house. So this is a good time with Mercury in the 4th. Maybe you're working from home, or you're doing some writing, communicating, something to do with home. You might be signing some type of contract that relates to a home. Mercury's going to go retrograde to your 4th house and back into the 3rd. So I feel like there might be some issues around home and family and relatives and communication, some things that you have to work out. Maybe there's a misunderstanding that has to be resolved, or you need to reach out to relatives or siblings that you haven't talked to in a while. Mercury also can mean a new beginning, like you're rethinking your ideas or your thoughts on home and family and your early childhood. Pluto in your 11th house has started a retrograde period, and it will be retrograde all through the summer until October. So you're rethinking things. When Pluto goes retrograde, when planets go retrograde, it becomes more internal. The energy goes within. So you might be reevaluating some of the friendships that you have. People that are you letting your friends, the power dynamic in groups and friendships, and try to figure out, maybe I need to break free from some of these relationships. Maybe they're taking over my life too much. Maybe there's too much. I've given my power away in a group, or I've given my power away in friendships, and I need to reclaim it. Then we have Mercury goes retrograde, so it'll be in your 4th house, then it's going to go back into your 3rd house. So you may hear from people from the past. Maybe you're going to get a communication from a sibling or from friends or relatives from the past. Sometimes you may need to renegotiate something. The 3rd house is the house of contracts and communication. Maybe you need to revisit certain things from the past and get some clarity. And it's going to involve communication. You need to speak up. You need to talk. You need to resolve things. So don't keep things hidden. Don't keep things in. If you have an issue with someone, speak up, and you could come to some kind of peaceful resolution. The full moon in Scorpio is happening in your 9th house, and the sun is in your 3rd house. Again, it's trining Pluto in the 11th house. So this is good for gaining clarity. You might learn some things about your friends, about your family, your relatives. There might be some communication project, or you could be completing something where you're publishing something. You're communicating, because the 9th house and the third house are the communication houses. The ninth house has to do with higher education, teaching, learning, publishing. So you might be finishing up a cycle that involves a communications project, or some type of, maybe you're moving out of you're closing off a cycle and moving into something else. Maybe you're finishing your education, or you're finishing a job that involves publishing and teaching. But in the process, you have networked and you've gained some powerful friends, and they can be of help to you right now. You have Saturn in your 12th house, and this is T-squaring this full moon. So there are some psychological issues that you have to deal with still, with Saturn in the 12th. Saturn in the 12th it's a planet of karma. So you're clearing out old karma. You're ending a karmic cycle. And part of that is you might have problems. You might have to deal with your psychological issues around authority figures, around parents, around early, how you were programmed by early childhood, or Saturn also represents obstacles that you have to overcome, blockages. Now is a good time to look at that and overcome that, and to deal with that. Bring that into the light. Bring that up from the unconscious and deal with it and resolve it. And when you end that cycle, then you're going to, as Saturn moves into Pisces next year, it's going to affect your, the way you're seeing the world. You're going to take more responsibility. You're going to be able to start a new cycle when Saturn's in your first house. Right now, Mars and Neptune are in your first house in Pisces. So you're really feeling more energetic right now to achieve a goal or a dream. But with Neptune there could be some confusion in how you're presenting yourself. People are not sure where you're coming from. Like you have to, because you may be trying on different personas, trying to figure out, okay, what's next for my life? Something is ending. I feel like a cycle is ending, and now you're trying to figure out what's the next step. Who do I want to be now? Now that I'm giving up this old role or this old cycle. Venus at the full moon is going to conjunct Chiron in Aries. At the beginning of May, Venus moves into Aries, and then it's going to conjunct Chiron at the full moon, and that's going to be around the 15th or the 16th of May. And Jupiter will also be there. Jupiter will be moving into Aries around this full moon at the 0 point. So, and this is all happening in your second house. That's the house of money. It's the house of self-worth. So you're really going to be, you might have a healing conversation with someone about not feeling valued, or even around money. If it's a job situation, maybe you're feeling you're not being paid what you're worth, or you're putting all this effort into something and you're not getting enough back in return. And so you may have to have a healing conversation with that person to make sure you're getting what you deserve. But it's also a time of healing your own thoughts around money and what you feel you're worth and self-worth. So the more you value yourself, the more you will attract abundance and love, and allow love and money to come into your life. It's not it's not an evil. We deserve to get paid for what we put out there. If you have skills and talents, you deserve to get what you're worth, to get paid what you're worth. And if you're giving love to someone, you deserve to get love in return. So those are going to be major issues around this full moon. Usually full moons, and it's an eclipse. So it could eclipse certain people out of your life, certain situations, but it could also bring greater clarity. The full moon shines a light on things. So you see, now I see what I've been missing. Now I know what I need to do. Then we have a new moon in Gemini on May 30th, and that's happening in your 4th house. So you could be moving into a new home. People could be moving in, moving out. It could be a new beginning, new energy coming in around home and family. Maybe a new beginning with family members. This moon is sextile Chiron in the 2nd house. Again, the issues around self-worth and money and love come up. Jupiter is still there, and Jupiter is sextile Venus in the 3rd. So if you do reach out, I feel that you will have a positive outcome. Venus in the 3rd brings greater harmony in your relationships with your family. So if you speak up, you can resolve things. You could, heal a wound that may have been created, and you can have a better relationship with them. Mercury is, it's Mercury in your 3rd house. Venus is also there too. So Mercury is trine Pluto, and they're both retrograde, and Pluto's in the 11th. So you might be hearing from people, friends, or groups of people that you once dealt with might be coming back into your life. Mercury retrograde is telling you, don't rush ahead just yet. Make sure you check, you're dotting all your I's, crossing all your T's. Make sure you've got all your ducks in a row. Look over that paper or that document for any errors or any miscommunications. But you can do a lot of fixing at this time. You can tweak something and make it better. But don't skip that step. In your anxious, if you're anxious to move ahead, don't skip that step. Let's see. Venus is squaring Pluto in an out of sign square, and that's from 3rd to 11th. So there could be some power struggles in groups of people that you're dealing with. And the power, it could be something that has to do with either love, money, or communication. So just be aware of the power dynamic among the groups that you belong to, and don't get involved in any drama or gossip. That's all I want to say about that. But for the most part, I feel like this new moon can give you a new beginning, especially around home and family, where you feel a lot more secure. But the way you're going to get there is through communication. So I feel communication is going to be really important this month. So if there's anything that you're holding in and you're not speaking up about, reach out to others and have that conversation, no matter how difficult, because I think the end result will be positive. You'll be able to heal relationships this month, and you'll get on a better place. You'll get to be in a better place by the end of the month and on a new path. So that's my forecast, Pisces, for May. If you enjoyed this reading, click on the like button. Leave a comment if this resonated with you. That helps support the channel. The liking, the subscribing, and the commenting. So if you really want to support my channel, do one of those 3 things or all of them, whatever you feel. And thank you for supporting, for those who have been liking and commenting. And if you're new, welcome, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. Now, this is a general reading, so it may not apply to everyone. So if you want a private reading, you can click on the link in the description box. It will take you to my website, and that's how you schedule a reading with me. You go on the website, there's a form to fill out and submit, choose your reading type, and we will get you on the schedule. In the meantime, have a wonderful May, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.